Are you confused as to what to eat? You're not alone. I'm Shauna Kay, female fat loss expert and author of Lose Your Menopause Belly. And today I want to give you some tips on what to eat to get a bikini belly. But before I do that, I want to share a birthday that we're going to be celebrating coming up in November, and it is these cupcakes' birthday. Their birthday is, well, I call it their birthday because it says for these cupcakes that they are best before November 14th of 2014. So we're celebrating the third year birthday of these cupcakes. They've been sitting in my windowsill, hey Brittany, for almost 3 years. And so I want to use these cupcakes as a demonstration of maybe what not to eat to have a bikini belly. So we're going to give a few guidelines on maybe what not to eat, and that will help to give us some indication of what we should be eating. So obviously these we're not going to eat, but they can be tempting. So these are not rotten. So if you find food that doesn't rot, it's not good for you. So food that rots is much better for you than food that you're going to find in a bag or a box. These cupcakes don't even have an ingredient list on them, and I think that that's by law. So you're going to be looking for food that either doesn't need an ingredient list. Oh, my phone is falling down here. Doesn't need an ingredient list, or because it's an apple, or it's chicken breasts, or if it does have an ingredient list, then it's 5 ingredients or less, and possibly like you're looking for ingredients that you can pronounce, because if you can't pronounce it, your body is going to have a harder time recognizing what those ingredients are. So look for food that rots, that's best for you, that either doesn't need an ingredient list because it's apparent what is in that food. If it does have an ingredient list, it's 5 ingredients or less. They are ingredients that you can pronounce. Preferably you're looking for foods that are not found in a bag, box, or a gas station. A gas station is meant to gas your car and not your body. So don't be doing your grocery shopping at a gas station. And the reason I'm suggesting this is because those foreign foods, your body doesn't know what to do with them. And so when you ingest food that has ingredients that you can't pronounce, or not really processed foods, what happens is your body doesn't know what to do with it, and so it can cause inflammation. And inflammation is the author of a ton of ailments. So it can cause pain, it can cause bloating, weight gain, and a ton of other issues. Sometimes you just need to connect the dots between, okay, I ate this and now, oh, my fingers or my knees are really stiff, or I'm really bloated. And oftentimes we don't connect those dots between eating processed food and how we're feeling. So it's really important that we try and make those connections. And so it's best, obviously, as much as possible to be eating fresh foods, ingredients that we know, fruits, vegetables, lean meats. Not everybody is celiac, and so there are tons of healthy grains that you can be eating. Carbs are not the enemy, and so you have to listen to your body and eat to fuel your body. You'll find that fat loss is so much easier when you're listening to your body and you're eating those wholesome foods. It's not as difficult as we kind of make it sometimes. So if you're eating those wholesome foods more often than not, less packaged and processed foods, your fat loss is going to be easier. Your fitness is going to be easier because you're going to be so much more energized, and you're going to be surprised at when you stop eating that, the processed foods, that your cravings are going to go down as well. Now, when you reduce sugar, those first couple days, I admit to you that, they can be tough, but you have to just power through those first 3 to 5 days of reducing sugar. And when you eat sweet, you crave sweet. So if you try and reduce sugar and then don't, keep fueling your sugar cravings by eating more sugar, you're going to find that you crave sugar less and less. So that's going to be really helpful for you. So just a quick recap of basically what not to eat to get that bikini belly. We're going to try and stay away from the packaged and processed foods that either don't have an ingredients list because, well, the manufacturer didn't put it on, or that, like, you're going to try and find foods that don't need an ingredient list, like broccoli doesn't need an ingredient list, chicken doesn't need an ingredient list, salmon doesn't need an ingredient list, or find foods with an ingredient list of 5 foods or less, that foods that you can pronounce, that aren't in a box, bag, or a gas station. You're going to look for those fresh foods, tons of vegetables, tons of lean proteins, fruits, healthy greens, tons of water. Now, should you never have anything like this? Now, I'm in Calgary, and right now it's the Calgary Stampede. It comes once a year, and I think it was on Saturday I told everyone, go ahead and have the mini donuts or have the treat that you really want. But that is a treat and not a staple, not something that you're going to have every single day. Your body will thank you when you eat those fresh foods and you reduce those processed foods, and you're going to benefit in ways that you never thought you would. Your knees are going to feel better. Your joints are going to feel better. You're going to be less bloated. You're going to lose that menopause belly. And speaking of which, if you are over 40 and you need some more tips, check the link. I'll have the link to my free book, Lose Your Menopause Belly. It's not as hard or as difficult or take as long as you think that it might. It's those small daily efforts that make a big difference in the long run. And that's my message for today.